Hey guys, this podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Have you heard of it? If you haven't, let me tell you guys. Anchor is an all-in-one platform to make your podcast. They have everything set up just for you. They've helped us out so many times, and they are the ones we are using to this day. Guys, Anchor has all the creative tools you need to get your podcast started, from your phone to your PC. You name it, they got it. And you can make money immediately with no minimum listenership needed. That sounds like a pretty good deal, but now you still have distribution. No, you don't. Anchor takes care of that for you. You could be heard on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and so many more. I don't know what you're waiting for. It's all in one platform made just for you. Anchor makes it easy. Jordan, where do I find this? Where do I go? Let me tell you. You can go to anchor.fm or download the Anchor app. That is Anchor, ANCHOR.fm, and download the Anchor app today. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James, aka Architect, and with me, as always, is Skull Hunter Games, aka Jordan, aka I got nothing this week.
What? You're out of insults or compliments? Wow, that's shocking. Well, then here we go. I got one for our guest. Joseph died.
Joseph gone. He is dead again. He won't be coming back ever again, unless he does.
And the difference is this time he's sick. He's actually maybe dying. He may be dying. So we had to, get a replacement like we always do. Except the man who's just hit 55 subscribers, Charles, everybody. Welcome. He's shown off his belt like he always does. Even though he didn't win it, he bought it. I'm on to you.
Yeah.
I'm on to you. Cheater! You cheat on everything.
I won it when I won that gun game this past Wednesday, Jordan.
Dude, that was so super nice.
See, you have people like Charles who walk around with championship belts, but they didn't even win it. They literally just bought it. What is he, the $1 million man? This is ridiculous.
Something worse could be like a 24/7 title.
Alright. Before we get started, I gotta ask, Charles, how you doing, man?
I've been alright. Just been freaking dealing with crazy crap at work and just waiting to get that freaking 1400 so I can pay some crap off and everything, and also building up my YouTube channel and everything. We're just slowly getting to the 60 subs, which would be nice.
Nice, man. Congrats.
Good job, dude. Good job.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will say I lost it. Oh, yes, I remember. So I have to, now that you're here, I think it's important that we say this face to face. So if you remember, a couple weeks ago, it was just the girls here tonight, just me, Charles, and Joseph. Or Jordan. It's funny because that's what this is about. So apparently, we were on some sort of topic talking about something, and I went to cut it to you, and I said, "Go ahead, Joseph," instead of "Go ahead, Charles," and nobody caught on that I said it, not even myself. Joseph caught on to it the week after.
Oh yeah.
And he played the clip on the podcast where I was talking to you and I said, "Go on, Joseph." So, if I say the name Joseph, not only will he actually be dead, but I need to be corrected so it doesn't keep happening.
Joseph is going to come back on here going, "Okay, guys, now listen to this."
I know. All right, guys, my name's Joseph. I have receipts. Watch this. All right, anyway, so I'm going to let you guys know. I'm going to tell you guys the subject now so you guys have the entire episode to think about it.
Okay.
All-timer worst movie characters.
Really? All-timer worst movie characters?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep that in your noggin. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're not a super duper crazy episode. There has been some crazy stuff, though. In fact, let's get right into it.
Whoa, coming in hot.
Yes. So, we have some crazy news coming from the FIFA world this week. If you are unaware, FIFA which is published by EA Sports. They have a game mode that they've come out with in every FIFA game since FIFA 09. It's called FIFA Ultimate Team. If you don't know what Ultimate Team is, basically it's like fantasy soccer. Like you could pick up any player from any team and put them on your team and play other people with them online. Now, how you get these other players? Well, you can spend thousands of hours in-game doing certain goals and stuff like that, grinding to get the points enough to buy player packs. Or you could use your real money to buy player packs, like a microtransaction, because EA is the king of loot boxes. You can buy microtransactions in hopes of getting a chance of getting a good player. It sucks. Like, it does. Let's just call it out how I see it. It sucks. But it's the way it's always been. And now, people have found a way to circumvent that. Because this week, a rogue EA employee was found selling specific EA or specific FIFA players from player packs, not just packs, but the players from the packs that are super rare, that were really hard to get, selling them for thousands of dollars to players offline. And what he would do is he would take your account information and he'd literally just send it straight to your account through either a bot or he would generate it or something, which is ridiculous because you have all these people spending money to open player packs just to get a chance to get that player, and then these guys went straight to a rogue EA employee to do that. They are super mad about this. Before we get into EA's statement and a special fun fact about FIFA Ultimate Team, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the story so far. Allegedly, by the way. Sorry. Allegedly this always happened. Sorry. I didn't say that. Allegedly. Allegedly and allegedly.
Okay, Charles, go ahead first. I want to hear your opinions on this.
Yes, allegedly your opinions.
If I could, I'd be playing that freaking video of that robot dude from Futurama just laughing his rear end off. I freaking I'd be playing Shane McMahon's theme right now, but I don't want to get this freaking show a freaking copyright strike or anything like that. But this is why I can't get into freaking modern EA games, because with them, all they care about is freaking money. That's why they keep just churning out freaking football game every year like Call of Duty, and it's just a freaking roster update. It's like, really? And you guys people still buy these things, even though freaking people like Angry Joe keeps telling them not to buy the damn things. But that's just my opinion. I just miss the old days of like EA games and PS2 like NASCAR and stuff, because those are the good games, including their football ones too. Well, even the freaking hockey games were good back then.
Yeah. NHL 06, I think, had the best, sports game soundtrack of all time. What about you, Jordan?
I don't got anything yet because, for one, I really don't play too many EA games. I really don't.
As you shouldn't.
No, I would rather just stick to
Allegedly.
This is all allegedly. You know, let's just all deal with that. This is allegedly, okay? I allegedly don't think they're screwing over people. I allegedly don't think that they're money hungry. I allegedly don't think they're a good company.
Yeah.
But I really got nothing to put in here besides I'm curious on where the story leads to.
All right. Well, so I will say I don't like defending EA, but in this case I will, because from the looks of it, yeah, microtransactions are bad. That's all EA's fault. It is what it is, right? But at least with microtransactions, everyone has a fair chance. This was a rogue employee that was scamming the company, which, you know, I don't care about EA getting scammed. I don't care about that. But it was this guy who works for EA giving people unfair advantages and all that. Because if you don't know, the FIFA Ultimate Team has a pretty big esports scene around the entire world. So I have the exact quote from EA on this situation. Would you guys like to hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a tweet from the @EA Sports FIFA Twitter handle. We are aware of the allegations currently circulating within our community related to FIFA 21 Ultimate Team items. A thorough investigation is underway, and if we identify improper conduct, we will take swift action. We want to be clear. This type of behavior is unacceptable, and we in no way condone what is alleged to have happened here. We understand how this creates concern about unfair balance in the game and competition. We will update community as we get more clarity on the situation. So that's them. That's granted. It was damage control because, but I mean that was the best they could do. I think that was honestly probably the best statement they could put out at this time regarding everything. So with us knowing that it's not really EA doing it, it's just one or two or maybe a handful of just rogue EA employees allegedly doing this. I have a question for you. I have a question. We're gonna play one of my favorite games called Over Under. I did not put this in the Discord, so you guys actually have to guess.
I would let Charles go first while I use my phone for a second.
All right. Well, because of that, you get to go first, Jordan.
60 million.
60 million. You are over. So, as I said, FIFA Ultimate Team is a huge esport around the world. You have to buy player packs and all that to get these players on your team. Out of all the competitive players in the world that are at the top tier of esports level, I want you to guess how much money they've spent on their Ultimate Team. On average.
40 million.
I would be fair. It's in the thousands.
Oh, thousands, 6,000.
Well, it's like, okay, is that your guess?
Yeah,
you're under.
Okay, under. Okay.
Jordan or
Charles,
your turn. Sorry. Every name of every guest we ever had just circulated in my head.
Just don't say
Charles.
James.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Architect.
I'd like to think they probably spent like over 100,000.
You are actually over, yes. So the average, mind you, I don't know how much money's actually circulated into the FIFA Ultimate Team esport as a whole, because I don't know what kind of orgs these guys are sponsored by. But each player has spent an average of $27,000 to get their FIFA Ultimate Team to the spots where they feel like they can compete. And that's on average.
How many of those freaking British YouTubers freaking play soccer? Jesus.
And that's on average. So obviously there's people who get lucky and have to spend less, but there's also people who aren't as lucky and have to spend more. Because mind you have to get these players through player packs, microtransactions, loot boxes.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. And this entire situation, I think, will be handled swiftly. I think, worst case scenario, the people who paid for these special items and players through the people will just have them, because I don't think there's any way EA can issue... They can't just take the item back away from... Well, they could, but I don't think they're going to take that item away from the player, and then the player who bought these items for anywhere between $1,300 to $2,000 for an item through these players or through the employees, they can't get it refunded. So I don't see why they would just take the item back, but maybe they might. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Do you guys think EA?
Can I say something?
Go ahead. Go for it.
Sorry. All I know is that when EA finds out whoever it was that its employees that's doing this, they're going to get freaking Matrix and the freaking FBI opened up on their ass.
Hey, this is the end of the podcast. We didn't realize we were raising a psychopath. We're just gonna go ahead. Thank you, Anchor.
If this was Twitch, we would have been banned already. For those in the audio realm, our guest here may or may not have pulled out a real or fake firearm.
I'm pretty sure it was real, but
allegedly,
it was allegedly real.
He allegedly pulled a firearm out.
He may have pointed it at you, the audience. Allegedly. So we'd like to thank our anchor sponsor. Oh wow, I'm so distraught that I did not expect him to do that, but the roll us back into the Be On Track. So pretty much is EA sat there and caught someone leaking, or not leaking, but how'd you say?
So it was actually a group of FIFA players on Reddit
that
found a rogue employee that was taking their money to give them special items directly instead of them having to go through loot boxes.
Okay.
And EA found out about this because so many people were upset and on social medias talking about the fact that these players could just go out and buy whatever they want, whereas us normal Joe Schmoes would have to go through the loot box system.
Okay, and EA had no idea this was going on, so they kind of cracked down on it once they found
Correct.
out. So, honestly, it sounds like EA is actually going through the right steps, and I give them credit because some places like I will call out Activision here, you know, they will give stuff to the people they want to promote their stuff or play professionally and stuff like that. They will give it to them totally free. So I do enjoy that EA doesn't do that, but you know, EA is also immediately, they saw this, they realized it's not fair, and obviously they're losing money out of this. They're immediately cracking down. So I hope EA gets all this stuff figured out. But that's really all I got from it. For once, I'm on EA's side. I will still never play your games, but you know, I'm on your side.
Well, you're talking about taking sides with one big money-hungry developer. Do you want to talk about another big money-hungry developer you're not going to take sides with?
You know it.
All right, let's get into it, baby. So, the CEO of Take-Two Interactive. If you don't know Take-Two Interactive, it's because you live under a rock. Take-Two Interactive is the publisher that's over the developers such as Rockstar, 2K, 2K Sports, etc., etc. Any major big game under that branch, you've heard of Borderlands, GTA, Red Dead Redemption, the 2K Sports series, all that. Like, they're pretty big. Well, the CEO decided to come out and was like, you know what? People have too much money. I think the average Joe Schmo has too much money. And then we're all sitting here like, I don't think that's that. And then before you even finish, he's like, listen, I think that it's important that we raise the price of video games to $80 a video game instead of $60. It's unfair that we have to develop all these games and you're basically getting them for free. And then people are like, but I have to wait till they're on. I don't care. You're getting them. And then other developers or other major like companies are agreeing with Take-Two Interactive here, saying that, yeah, games should be $70, $80 instead of $60. Because what happens is it's unacceptable for one publisher to raise the price to $80 now. But if everybody does it, who's going to stop them? Because gamers are still going to want to buy games. And if there's not a developer standing strong, like, yeah, we're going to keep it at $60. I mean, I remember buying games for the original Xbox and PlayStation 2, and they were $50. And I remember when the 360 came out, having to pay $60 for a game. And I was like, man, this economy sucks. And that was, you know, little like 12-year-old James who didn't have a concept of how terrible it was gonna be. But it's crazy that these developers are. I mean, I get it, but I don't. What do you guys think here? How do you guys feel about this? Do you guys think they should be raised a little bit because, you know, we're entering a new gen of consoles, or do you think that it's been a staple of a price for how it is now, because it didn't change between 360 and Xbox One or PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, or PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4? What do you guys think about this? What's your opinions?
So I actually want to take this one first, because this kind of goes into a little bit what we were talking about off camera with the economy and money and stuff like that. Not gonna get too much into it because, you know, I don't want to be talking out my butt, but I talk into your butt. But with our dollar amount going down, so $1, you could buy like $1 cheeseburger. Eventually, they're going to have to pump it up to $2. So, I mean, $1 is really not going to be too much money. You might not be able to get anything with $1. Dollar Tree might be $1.50 tree. Our dollar's not going to go many places anymore. Upping it to 80, I get it. I understand, but I don't like it. Like, and it's not the fact I'm don't want to spend $80 on a game. But as we all know, there hasn't been making high budget games. And I hate to say that, but we'll always complain about the games. If you would have just paid $80 for Cyberpunk, look where you be now. I'm coming after you. I'm never letting you die.
Oh,
it's
if people pay
I spent $80
$80
on Ticket Anthem, so
see, and was it worth it? It wasn't worth it. So the fact that we're still paying $60 for a game, and we don't know if it's even worth it, why bump it up to 80? It's like, and demos are becoming obsolete. We aren't getting demos. We're either getting betas of the game, or
early access.
Yeah, or early access. We're not getting demos where we can try it out. We can give our personal opinions. No one cares about that anymore. So upping it to 80, I don't
Outriders.
like. Yes, Outriders, the demo is out on Xbox, so I am excited about it, and I will be playing it. But Charles, how do you feel about the situation?
And I had something else I was going to say, but it can wait after I give my opinions, and you guys don't have to have it in the total thing and everything. But this is why I miss, this is why I like going to GameStop so much and getting, a bunch of pre-owned games whenever they're on sale, whatever. But when there was, this place that used to be up the street from my house, had, old PS2 and original Xbox, and had a whole shelf dedicated to newer games and everything. And usually they're pretty decently priced and everything. It's all these old retro games would be on the shelves and everything, and they'd be all games that I'd like to play when I was younger. I want to get a majority of the Ratchet and Clank series is on the PS2 because I like those games, especially Deadlock. That was one of the few Ratchet and Clank games I ever actually beat.
Deadlock was good.
And yeah, I just don't like this whole idea of price hiking the game just because freaking people want more money in their pockets and everything.
So, one thing I want to say is, yeah, $80 seems like a little steep for a video game. That's you're soon it's gonna be okay. You're paying $600 for a console and then an extra $100 per game. Soon, next thing you know, you're gonna have $2,000 wrapped up in just a video game console. But here's the thing: technology is getting deeper. Technology is getting better. The way that games are being made now is a lot more advanced than it was 10, 15 years ago. I understand, and the qualifications you need to become a game developer are a little bit more. I understand you got to pay your employees. I understand you got to pay for certain things. I kind of get raising the price a little bit. I think they're getting hate here, Take-Two Interactive that is, just because I think they're the first ones to speak up. I think they're just, right now, being the meat shield for every other developer, but every other developer knows dang well they're following suit, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we may not agree with the price. We may not want to pay that price. It's coming. It's going to happen. And right now, the reason why there's so much hate is just because it's finally getting brought up. That conversation was off the table for so long. It's finally getting brought up. And I think Take-Two, since they're just the first ones to speak up, they're the ones that are getting all the flack for it.
You know what? That's a good point. I mean, and like you brought up earlier, if they've raised the price to 80, you're still gonna buy the game. If Halo releases and it's $80, I'm still gonna pay $80 to play Halo.
And that's the thing. Almost every.
I'm hoping to get the collector's edition.
Yeah, every. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Halo always has the best collector's editions. Fallout used to be really good at that too.
Oh, yeah. Used to be so good.
Because I came out with that moldy helmet and that freaking dollar store freaking bag you could get out of the freaking grocery store.
That is.
I haven't forgotten about that.
Nothing will beat the. Oh, you know what? Maybe that should be another all-timer segment.
Okay, but real fast. I know we want to just keep going. But another good reason to raise the price of the video games is look at our next gen consoles. They're all up in price. It was due to COVID. Yeah. Now they're just people are still buying them.
Yeah, and that's what that added on to my point. Next gen consoles technology is so much better than it was on the last gen consoles. Yeah. That it kind of like I said, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. Yeah. I'm still gonna. If a game comes out that I want, I'm still buying it. Whether I like it or whether I'm happy I'm paying $60, I'm begrudgingly handing them $80. I'm still handing them money for it.
Yeah, and I think
some of the stuff I hear that they put in these.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say that with some of the stuff that I hear that they put in these newer systems every time they come out with these things, it's like they're trying to make these things more and more into a PC and everything. It's and people wonder why these things are always so expensive. It's like they're literally taking video game systems and turning them into PCs.
Yeah, I just skip the middleman and go straight to PC.
Yeah, I have my PC. It's so nice.
I lied. I have a Switch. I like the Switch.
No.
I like the Switch because it's more so like, yeah, I can play with friends if I want, but it's like, if I want to sit down on the couch while my wife's watching something on TV, I'd pull the Switch out and play a single player experience.
Yeah.
Like Breath of the Wild, I've been playing Breath of the Wild for like a year now. Like it's one of my favorite games I've ever played.
Hey, it works.
And once I get my new PC, I actually have my Switch up here, so I can connect to here. I'll probably record some stuff on that too, just because I can. Why not? Shut up. It's my job. I do what I want.
I can't wait for you to get a new PC so we can play the games that have been requested, like Phasmophobia. You know, be able to have you play Dead by Daylight. You know, the game that brought us together. You know, at least have something to do more often and play CS:GO and not worry about issues. CS:GO fix your servers.
And I want to carry James so we can play through all Borderlands games.
Yeah, well, I can play Borderlands games now.
Halo.
Yeah, Halo's gonna be another one. I will be getting the Master Chief Collection for.
We have to because Lasso, it's a thing. I need some buddies.
I've never played Lasso. I would love to try it as much as Charles looks like he's about to pop a blood vessel. Bring out that. He's gonna bring that Lizzie back out and just
the one thing I learned from Charles is with playing legendary mode, it starts up hype. Okay, we're on the hype train, and while we're on the hype train, he brings it down a little bit after every death, and then he kills me, and it kind of builds up a little bit more, and then when we get spawn trapped because someone ran ahead and got a checkpoint. He goes from I'm ready to don't even care if this is a stream anymore. I'm done with the game. I'm so done.
It's funny. You learned that about Charles, but I learned something even better.
What is that?
In fact, you guys call me the architect, but you could also call me the scoopsman. Well, yes, that too. But you guys can call me the scoopsman. You know why? Because I got the scoops. In fact, this scoop is actually really good news for PC players.
Okay.
Really good news for PC players who love great single-player experiences, I might add. So, we recently covered that PlayStation exclusives will be moving to PC. Well, your boy here has found out some leaks about 2 games coming to PC. Don't know when. They haven't been confirmed yet. But 2 games that are leaked to come to PC are both games that were either candidates or won Game of the Year in some way, shape, or form. The first one is the remade version of God of War. That's awesome. God of War, great game. I played all the ones that came out on PS2. It was fun. You get to hear "boy" every time because I think he's like Kratos as a son now, and he just says that all the time during the campaign. Boy. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
They had to turn God of War into freaking what was that game called? Last of Us. Only freaking with like mythology.
Why? Why'd you do that? Sorry, not you. My dog went over and just he went poof right into one of my cubicle settings of stuff. He just went poof because he's a.
I hope that gets kept in the thing.
No, it's staying in. It's staying in. I want
It sure is.
For those of you that don't know, before I say the second game, this right here, you probably saw him earlier. His name is Kodiak. He is a Husky Lab mix, and he is sometimes a good boy, and other times he hates Mario mushroom lamps, so he pushes it to the back of the cubicle.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right.
I love labs, and I also like huskies.
Yeah, and he's a pretty puppy. He's just a jerk sometimes. So, the second game coming out, Ghost of Tsushima. This game.
AKA the game. Sorry.
I was gonna say this game was compared to Dark Souls, but it's unlike Dark Souls. People thoroughly enjoyed the story behind it. People thoroughly enjoyed every minute they played, no matter how hard it got. So I think PC players should be excited for the next 2 games that are coming to them. And there's more coming, because PlayStation announced there's going to be more exclusives coming to PC. This is great news. Because now these great single-player experiences, we had thought, like we had guessed, that the exclusives coming to PC were going to be like just like the $20 games or whatever like that. Whatever games what on their version of Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like whatever was just going to float the bill. But no, these two games are massive games, massive exclusives that are coming. So that's great news. What do you guys possibly think about this? And what games would you like to see come next?
Honestly, James was saying that I was one of the people who was like, they were going to bring smaller budget games in. But I expected something small, like, you know, not something small, but bring like one good game in to like draw people into it. I did not expect Ghost of Tsushima. I did not expect that game to appear itself, because from what I know, that game did so amazing. God of War, that would be one of the ones I would expect, because I personally didn't care for God of War. I kind of compare God of War to Gears of War, and I would rather play Gears of War than God of War. But I mean,
Oh, that's a thing I like to say.
And the games I want to see, I just want to see Legend of Dragoon. That's all I want to see. Bring it to the PC. I don't have to go on any shady websites to download it. Bring it to the PC. I will play. Also, maybe The Last of Us, because I really want to play The Last of Us. Just bring us the first one. Bring us the first one. Let us have to buy a PlayStation for the second one, but give us the first one. I still want to play it. There's a couple of other horror games, well-known horror games that are on there that I would love to play. But when it's all said and done, though, I'll settle for just the little crumbs that comes along. I will settle for them. Charles, what about you?
I'd like to see freaking Demon Souls come to PC, because there's a YouTuber that I follow on Twitch as well. Freaking out, probably lose a shit if that game ever came to PC because of the modding community. Same with those other games, because you know the modders that have freaking work their freaking magic, and they'll do some crazy ass freaking crap with those games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a Demon Souls ever came to freaking PC. There would be a modder who would probably make a playable version of the 6th Archstone, which was never released, even though people have been wanting the Blue Point freaking studios put in the game, but Lord knows what that'll ever happen if it ever does. We'll probably see a sequel to Demon Souls finally happen before that.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Yeah, I'm just excited that PC's getting more great single player experiences, because PC's known for having like I'm gonna go ahead and say it, PC's probably known for having one of the best multiplayer communities out there. But they really don't get the single player experiences quite like the consoles do. So I'm glad to see that's changing a little bit. Like I would like to see one console or PC become well rounded in every category, rather than, oh, if you want great single player experiences, go to PlayStation. If you want good multiplayer experiences, go to PC or Microsoft. If you want to play Mario, go to Switch. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, Halo is the best thing about single player and multiplayer, but that's just an Xbox thing, which is also on PC.
Yeah, I love the idea of the PlayStation stuff, and I'm pretty sure we covered it in the last episode. I love the idea that PlayStation and Xbox are finally giving the stuff to the actual PC. Now, question, James, is it
Jordan?
Is it being brought in through like a PlayStation Store ordeal, or are they giving it to Steam? Like, how is this happening?
No, I don't know. Nothing's been announced. If I were to guess, they would either A, go through the Epic Game Store, which is like the Steam Store, but it's more of a third party rather than owned by Valve.
Okay.
They could go through Valve, but Valve always takes a chunk of the cut, no matter what. But that's what their biggest player base is. I don't know. Or maybe you have to set up a PlayStation account, and then it'll be kind of like Microsoft. You can set up a Microsoft account online. You have to set up a PlayStation account online. I don't know how they're going to do it.
It's kind of weird.
I'm easier
for the PlayStation one.
Or they might work something else Epic, because, you know.
And that's why I said Epic. Epic, if they're going to do a third party, Epic Games seems like most likely to be the host of those games, if they weren't going to host it on their own website. It just depends on how much effort they actually put into their PC ports. If they're going to put a lot of effort, and this is something they're going to do for the long run, then they might just make their own store and be like, yeah, just buy it through us, play it through us, boom. If they were like, you know what, just take like a 5% cut of each sale, put it on your store, and then let us know how it goes. They might give it to. I really think between Valve or Epic, they would go with Epic, but I don't know yet.
Epic would make a lot more sense because a lot of the other games that are also on PlayStation is on there, so it does make some sense. But yeah, I was just curious with that if we had any news yet on like if they're gonna make their own PlayStation store or whatever.
Like I said, it's everything that's been nothing's been quote unquote confirmed yet. It's everything's been leaks.
Okay.
That sources from inside PlayStation have told reporters and stuff.
Okay.
Now, I told you guys at the beginning of the episode to use your little noggin to think. Now is the time. All-timer. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the segment where we discuss our all-timer worst or favorite things. On today's episode of All-Timer, we are going to discuss our least favorite movie characters. I'm going to go last. I have two. One's kind of funny. One is for realsies.
Okay.
So I'll push it to Jordan.
Well, I'm curious, and I might have to push it to Charles, but is it just like an actor who did it, or an actor in a movie that you just didn't like
whatever
their character?
You want.
Okay.
You didn't like their character, you didn't like the actor, you didn't like the circumstance, whatever.
Okay, so I got it. And I thought about this immediately at the beginning of the podcast when you brought it up, and I had to get the name because I know they used his first name for his character and his actual name. Bill Paxton and Twister.
Okay.
So the reason why is because everyone's acting in there was amazing. You know, everyone in there did great. And I was even talking about this to my girlfriend the other day. She loves Twister. She loves it. Bill Paxton in the movie, I did not like his reaction to things. It's like, oh, an F5 tornado. I'm scared. Helen.
Oh no,
we should get out of here.
We are in danger.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, we should go in a farmhouse and have metal sharp objects flying at us. We will be okay. It's like that. No, and he did a bunch of other amazing movies before he passed away. Rest in peace. But he did so many more amazing movies that he did great acting in. Like, I honestly, that one movie though, Twister, the only movie I'm like, his acting is terrible in. It is that one. It was going to be Freddie Prinze Jr.'s. And it's a really old show he used to be in, but it was going to be him. But nah, Twister, Bill Paxton kind of took that from me. So, Charles, who is yours?
That scene you were talking about reminds me of freaking one in Gears of War 4 when like everybody was hunkered down in no barn and like a huge storm was like destroying everything in the nearby area around the freaking barn and everything, and like the whole thing was falling apart, and then freaking Marcus Phoenix, his son, was like, we should probably get the heck out of this barn. And Marcus is like, it will hold because he's a stubborn old man in Gears of War 4, but that does nothing new. Marcus has always been stubborn. But I just never liked any of like the human characters all that much. Any of the Transformers movies, and I especially didn't like those two dorks in Ready to Rumble. They were the main characters. And I liked Ready to Rumble. And yes, I know that movie was crap, but still, it was a freaking WCW movie, and I liked the wrestling bits. Especially when Sting showed up.
I will say
$10,000 paycheck.
Transformers. There's two things about Transformers that I love. Megan Fox and the one part in the third Transformers where they threw the smoke bomb because that's where the strike was gonna land. And they said throw it at the green smoke. That green smoke, and it's like 5 feet away from them. They're like, it wasn't my best throw. Like, there's that one little part in there, because I feel that so much when I play CSGO, especially at the beginning, of just dropping grenades down on the floor because I didn't understand how to do it. I was just like, oh, James is like, throw it up there. I'm like, okay. Okay.
And then you have like 3 seconds to be like, well, this is how I tell my story.
I think I've killed James a couple of times with that. But yeah, Transformers.
Inadvertently, yeah. Inadvertently. All right,
And
so
the girl in the Bumblebee movie was alright, but she's like the only black
what's her
kid.
name?
Oh,
Haley. Is it
yeah.
Haley Steinfeld? Something like that.
And I did like Mark Wahlberg though.
Maybe.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
But that's pretty much it. Those are like the only two human characters I ever liked in the Transformers series.
So
Okay.
I have two, and you guys are more than willing to agree or disagree. One is a character specifically for one scene in one movie, and that is Star-Lord from Marvel's Infinity War, where he gets so angry that instead of letting the team, because they lull Thanos to sleep. Spoilers alert for a movie that's almost 5 years old now, by the way. They lull him to sleep, and they're about to take the gauntlet off of his arm, so they can finally not be in danger and half the people die. And then Star-Lord starts punching Thanos as he's sleeping because he's mad because at this point I think he killed Gamora. I mean, he knows, and so he's getting all mad. So he's just a major idiot in that scene for at least not waiting till they took the gauntlet off to start beating the sleeping man. So that's kind of but I liked his sense of humor and his comedic timing in the rest of the movies and stuff like that. So that's why that's kind of like a one. But I think we need to talk about the worst set of characters in a movie of all time. And that has got to be Kevin McAllister's family from Home Alone.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, nope, I agree 100%.
I don't care what plot devices there are and what story you need to tell. In no way, shape, or form should an entire family go to France without a member of the family.
Yeah. And I love
And
the
people wonder why I have ADHD.
It was the acting in there was just I love filmmaking, so I really get into seeing how people act and stuff. The way they're all like, "Oh, where's the child? Where's our child?" And I'm like, "Did you not do?" And I understand they air quote did a head count, but you don't just. I've been in the car, and I have a big family. I've been in the car with the big family. You know every person in there. Mind you just don't love your kids at all. The acting though was just so
This is
bad.
why if I ever have sorry.
Go ahead.
This is why if I ever have a kid, I'm freaking triple checking to make sure that that kid is freaking okay every second I have the chance to check on it, because that they end up growing up and not liking me just because I'm not overprotective and I'm overly freaking worried that something might happen to them. Well, then they'll freaking have to learn. They'll find out that they'll have to appreciate it at some point, because freaking some of the shit that I've freaking seen happen when it comes to kids freaking makes me paranoid.
You know that's
So
really
yeah, I'm gonna freaking be hated by my kids. But they'll be thankful when they're not dead.
My sister, my wonderful sister is having a kid, and I'm super excited. I'm gonna be there for the little bastard. Here's the thing. I constantly, every single day, I will tell my sister what I'm going to do to her. So I'm over there telling her, yeah, if I ever have to watch the kid and I need to take a nap, it's going in a dark room. I'm going to go to the next room, shut the door, put on some music, go to sleep, and in 6 hours, then I'll check on it. And my sister knows it's not true, but the look that everyone gives me when I say that, especially when we're in public, is the greatest thing ever. I'm talking, there's times I'm saying about, oh, Michael Jackson, hang the kid out the window, and they're over there what's wrong with you? And I'm just don't let me.
Yeah,
don't watch
because when you say you're gonna Michael Jackson a kid that has multiple.
Well,
that
no,
has
they knew what I was talking about with that. They knew. Allegedly, we're talking all this allegedly, okay? But my sister knew exactly what I was talking about hanging the kid out the window, not allegedly doing other things that we're not.
When you say you're allegedly going to Michael Jackson a kid, that's gonna get some thoughts running through some people's heads.
The worst part is I never thought about
Only
it like
time
that because I had
the
my
outside
mindset.
of window, it's just the building you're in is on fire or something. There's a trampoline on the ground waiting for it.
Dude, I can't wait to travel with the kid because every time I'm to a cliffside, I'm gonna be doing the Lion King. Just That's what's gonna happen every time. That's I'm gonna love road trips.
Don't look at grip.
Yes,
You'd be saving her so much money.
that is true. Yeah, I'll be saving so much money. Christmas? What's that? Be like,
Anybody who watches
give
this,
some-
we're not going to be bad parents when we have kids, for the record.
Okay. Allegedly,
I
we're not
am
gonna be bad
absolutely
parents.
not having kids. So I'm almost 27 now. If I don't have a kid now, I hope I don't at this point.
That's fair.
Until you get drunk on wine someday and you and your wife freaking get frisky in the bedroom.
First off, I don't drink wine. All right, it tastes yucky. No, actually, Mrs. Architect actually makes a really, really good Midori sour, and that's what I drink usually. Or her friend, her and her husband work down on the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky, and they're like 6 hours away from us. So we, my wife will go down there, and she gets us like straight from the barrel quality bourbon. And I got those ice cube trays that make like ball ice cubes.
Ooh.
And so I put that at glass. I have a glass with a shot of bourbon, and when you go down to Kentucky on the Bourbon Trail, they teach you how to properly drink it. Like you're supposed to smell with this nostril, bring it across this nostril as you take a sip.
I wanna do that. Like I even talked to my girlfriend, and she's not into like alcohol and stuff like that. But I told her I want to go to a winery and like do actual proper wine tastings and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
I don't get drunk. I don't like getting drunk or anything like that. I never do it. When I have a drink, I have usually 1 or 2 glasses, maybe with a meal if I'm having it. So I want to throw it right there like that. I don't drink like excessively. That's not a thing. I mostly just get it because I think the bottles are neat.
Fair.
A lot of really good alcohol comes in great bottles,
Yeah.
and it's mostly just decoration pieces.
There's a vodka one I want that comes in a skull, and I want it so
I've
bad.
seen that, but I've heard people who've had it and they said it tastes awful.
Yeah, they said it's
It
nasty.
would most likely have to be a decorative piece.
Yeah, but I would have to either give the alcohol away to somebody or just pour
Just
it
never
down the
open it.
drain. Well, I want to put
Or-
green liquids in it. Because makes sense. I want to have it green and then put one of those like little light up coasters underneath it, so it like really lights up green. I really want to do that. I feel like it would look cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
One of these days, I just like to be able to freaking try a Jello shot.
Jello
That's
shots
great.
are good.
That
Oh,
so when I was 19, I sat there and had too many, I would say, at once. But I'm really like I have a lot of my mom in me, so when it's all said and done, I don't have the effects of alcohol the same way. So when I did a bunch of the Jello shots with the family, it's just, I don't know, it never hit really. The only thing I got close to was vodka, but even then, no. It takes a lot of Jello shots, but this is the worst thing. You never know when you had one too many. You have one, you don't feel anything. You're like, it's Jello. Have another one, have another, and then you just feel it, and you're like.
well, speaking of feeling it, I think we're filling up enough of this episode. So Charles, why don't you go ahead and pip out your social medias for us, bud?
If anybody watches this, likes like video game related stuff, or just people just doing short and quick to the point reactions to stuff like racing, in my case, or wrestling, which is two like most popular videos on my YouTube channel, is a reaction to something wrestling related, and you guys could just find my YouTube channel, CJ the Lone Wolf, which is freaking steadily starting to grow more freaking since I actually started, doing a lot of things with it. If you guys, like I said, if you guys like that kind of stuff, that's my YouTube channel and everything.
You've been uploading a lot more consistently too recently. I've noticed.
As I tried to be.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
And CJ Lone Wolf on YouTube is where you're at. And we can be found on YouTube also at Skull Hunter Podcast. We can also be found on Facebook at Skull Hunter Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Skull Hunter Pod. You can find me on Twitter at TheCrawdad23. You can find him on YouTube and... there's a loud noise. I feel like Charles is getting abducted by aliens. It's whatever. He's gonna join Joseph in the afterlife. It's fine. You can find Jordan on YouTube.
Truck.
Yeah, you can find Jordan on Facebook and YouTube at Skull Hunter Games, where Tuesday it's for sure me playing CS:GO. Maybe Jordan. He's got a little injury. We'll see if he can play. Hopefully, because if he doesn't play, there's no stream. So sucks to suck, nerds. If it is there, it'll be at least us. Maybe Joseph will be joining us again. That was fun time.
Mm-hmm.
So come along, hang out with us, chat. It'll be great. And if you want to listen to the video feed of this, you find us on Facebook and YouTube at Skull Hunter Podcast. If you want to listen to us on the audio realm, we are Skull Hunter Podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast from. It's none of our business. And to end it, we want to thank our anchor. Sorry, I do that every time. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at it. We want to thank our sponsor, Anchor. Anchor.fm is the perfect tool to get started for your podcast, whether you can start from your laptop, computer, or cell phone. You just download the Anchor app today, or you could go to anchor.fm, anchor.fm, start making money with very minimal listenership, and get your RSS feeds out there to wherever they have to go. Distribution is super easy. They take care of it for you. Highly recommend them. We've been using them for a while. They are fantastic. The best. They're absolutely wonderful. Some might even say the best.
It's huge. The marketing opportunities is huge.
And on that note, we want to thank you guys for joining us. We want to thank Charles for joining us. And thank you guys for listening. Have a great one. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.
All the people who hate AEW can freaking suck it!
Did you just public press on camera?
He did.